Hi, everyone. In his reflection, I'm going to talk through the ideas from our Module 6 materials that challenged my thinking, the concepts I found most meaningful or troubling, how the sources connect with each other, and how they could shape our vision for sustainable cities. One of the ideas that really made me stop and think came from the Crash Course Geography episode on space, place, and globalization. The discussion of data landscape and surveillance capitalism made me rethink my view of smart cities. I've often thought that collecting data from sensors, cameras, and apps was simply a way to make cities more efficient and sustainable. But this episode made me realize that there's another side to it. The same data can be used in ways that raise privacy concerns and deepen inequalities, especially when certain groups end up being watched and tracked more than others. It's not enough to ask if a system works, we also need to ask who it works for and who might be harmed by it. Dr. Anthony Townsend's presentation on autonomous vehicles was another eye-opener. Before hearing his perspective, I assumed AVs would automatically help cities by reducing traffic and emissions. But Townsend explained that if we don't plan carefully, AVs could actually make things worse, encouraging more driving, more sprawl, and more car dependency. He emphasized that the technology itself doesn't decide the outcome. Policy, land use planning, and public investment will determine whether AVs support transit-oriented, walkable neighborhoods or lead to greater distances between where people live, work, and shop. Some ideas in the readings and videos were meaningful in a positive way. The slow city movement, also discussed in Crash Course Geography, stood out to me, especially the example of Damyang County in South Korea. Instead of chasing fast-paced, large-scale development, the community chose to restore gravel pathways and natural creeks, protect traditional architecture, and promote slower, more local ways of living. A reminder that sustainability is not only about reducing carbon emissions or when you're using renewable energy. It's also about protecting the cultural identity of a place and giving people space to live at a human pace. Other concepts were more troubling. In the Imagining Urban Futures reading, the Techno Cities section described vertical megastructures, such as those in J.G. Ballard's High Rise. These buildings imagine extreme density, sometimes housing hundreds of thousands of people, but also show how much designs can lead to social divisions. The architecture itself becomes part of the problem, shaping behavior and reinforcing inequality. These stories made me think about the real world risk of building urban spaces that look impressive but don't foster fairness or community. When I look at how these sources connect, I didn't notice some shared patterns. The Imagining Urban Futures reading, Ta- Townsend, Townsend's AV talk, and the Kinder Institute's revisiting the social life of small urban spaces all show that new technologies often build on existing city forms rather than replacing them completely. Even our futuristic visions often still have familiar streets, buildings, and public spaces. The Crash Course Geography episode and Rüschelmann's Cities in the Third Wave also connect. Both show how each wave of technology, from industrialization to the digital era, reshapes cities in big ways, often affecting their identity. They also point out a risk. Cities adapts cities adapt to global trends, they can start to lose the unique qualities that make them special. There's also a tension between the more optimistic tone in the AI and urban planning examples like Amsterdam's smart energy systems and Singapore's virtual Singapore project, and the more cautious tone in dynamic land and slow city. First group focuses on using technology for efficiency and data-driven decision making. The second group reminds us to slow down, think about people first, and protect the character of local places. When I think about what this means for urban sustainability, the lesson is clear. Balance is key. We should use tools like AI, AVs, and smart sensors to improve efficiency, but we also need rules, policies, and designs that protect equity, culture, and community life. Sustainability isn't just about technology and the environment, it's about the social connection, cultural resilience, and making sure benefits are shared fairly. This means that if AVs are introduced, like Townsend warns, they should be planned to support walkable mixed-use neighborhoods rather than spread things farther apart. If AI is shaping how city services are delivered, like in Amsterdam and Singapore, it should be done transparently and with safeguards against bias. And if technology changes how we use public space, as White's research reminds us, we should still make the spaces inviting and sociable for everyone. My key takeaways from this module are technology's impact depends how it's used, not just what it can do. Place and local identity matter, even in a globalized and connected world. Public spaces are essential to community life, even as patterns of use change. Equity and ethics must be a part of every decision about new technology. The best future cities will combine human-centered design from the past with with the new possibilities offered by technology. In the end, this module reminded me that the future of cities isn't just about innovation; it's about intentionality. We need to make sure every new change, whether it's digital infrastructure, tall towers, or autonomous mobility, strengthens the social, cultural, and environmental fabric of urban life.